Welcome to my views and news. Some news stories for you. First one is about Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Splinter faction bishops have arrived at Patriarchate, the headquarters of Ethiopian Orthodox Church in Addis Ababa. Is the division within the church coming to a close? Are these 23 remaining bishops are going to apologize to the Holy Synod? Secondly, viewers, Oromia, a regional state, Guji zone, where another general strike was observed today across Guji. There was strike, no businesses opened, no traffic on roads. And thirdly, viewers, Agews living in Amhara region have long been complaining of discrimination. Kemmans are Agews too, and a few days ago we heard that Amhara regional government started talks with Agew Liberation Front, an armed group fighting and struggling for a separate Agew regional state, split with Amhara regional state. Now, we have received information from Avoreda, which is part of Avi zone where Agews live. And the Voreda deputy administrator has written a letter to Amhara regional government that Avi zone lands are being annexed and occupied by Fano fighters from other zones of the Amhara region, especially from neighboring West Gajam areas. Details for you. Firstly, viewers, Orthodox Church of Ethiopia saw an unprecedented challenge a few weeks ago when a splinter faction based in Oromia emerged. Three archbishops, Abune Saviros, Abune Vastotius, Abune Zinmarkos, made appointment of 26 bishops to Oromia and other parts of Ethiopia, and an unofficial synod was formed. Oromia regional government and to some extent Ethiopian federal government was behind this faction. The faction said that Holy Synod was dominated by one ethnic group, Amharas, and that Oromo language was being denied at church services, etc. We saw confrontation between these two factions and between the Orthodox Church led by Abune Matthias and the government church announced nationwide protests. Ethiopian government banned protests. Then the government stepped back and PM Abiy Daniel Kebre took three archbishops to Holy Synod to the Patriarchate in Addis Ababa. An agreement was reached. The three archbishops whose titles had been revoked by Orthodox Church rejoined the church. Their titles were restored. But the appointees, 26 appointees, were not their ranks were not accepted by the church. They were promoted as bishops by the three archbishops, but main church refused to accept them as bishops. So they continued their activities in the Oromia region. They did not allow older administration to take over churches in Valaga, in RC, in Hararge, West Hararge. We saw some meetings between Orthodox Church leaders and Shimalis Abdisa, Oromia region's president. Court, meanwhile, has given a prohibition order for 90 days. New Oromia faction is not allowed to take over new churches. Now, reportedly, the 23 remaining bishops have arrived at Patriarchate, Orthodox Church headquarters in Addis Ababa. Daniel Kebre, PM Abiy's advisor, Social Security Minister, is accompanying them. He is leading them. And it is being said that these 23 remaining bishops are going to apologize to the Holy Synod today, though the Church has not issued any official statement today. Before the arrival of these 23 bishops, we saw in the last few weeks that two bishops apologized. Three apologized, one retracted his apology. So now all remaining are going to apologize, it seems, to the patriarch, to the Holy Synod. Question is, will the church accept their appointment as bishops or not? That we'll see in coming hours. So far, the church has proven that it is the most powerful institution, one of the most powerful institutions in Ethiopia. Despite government backing, Oromia government backing, federal government backing, the splinter faction could not get following in the Oromia region. That is why we are seeing that the splinter faction bishops, they have been forced to apologize to the Orthodox Church, Patriarch and Holy Synod in Addis Ababa. PM Abiy's advisor Daniel Kebre and PM Abiy himself are playing the role of mediators, though some say that PM Abiy, Daniel Kebre and others were behind the divisions within the church. The church has proven that it is definitely one of the most powerful institutions in Ethiopia. We'll try to update you in coming videos about the apology of these 23 bishops. Secondly, was the Guji zone, Oromia regional state, where a strike was observed today. People went on strike for the second time in Guji today. A few weeks ago, Oromia Regional Parliament restructured Oromia region. New administrative units were formed and several Varedas were merged into these administrative units. In southern Oromia, 10 districts of Guji, Oromia and Bale became part of new East Borana zone. Nagale of Guji became part of Borana, East Borana zone. People in Guji rejected the decision. They took to the streets. Since then, we have been seeing demonstrations in Guji. Security forces have been trying to put an end to these demonstrations by using force. In one incident, 3 protesters were killed in a town of Guji zone a few weeks ago. But protests continue, strikes continue. Today was general strike observed in Guji. Businesses closed, banks closed, public transport suspended. A few days ago, we heard that government accepted change of the name of East Borana zone, but so far no announcement by the government. So, issue is still unresolved, though talks were held between Guji, Abagadas and Oromia regional government officials, but no solution has been found so far. Thirdly, viewers, third news story is about Agews. Agew is an ethnic group. They live in Amhara region of Ethiopia, mainly in Amhara. They live in Tigray and Eritrea as well. They mainly live in Avi zone, in Avog Himra too. For years, they have been complaining that they have been victims of discrimination, that Amhara ruling elite in the Amhara region was after their Agew identity. That attempt was being made to put an end to their existence as a separate ethnic group in the Amhara region. Kemants were accused of supporting TPLF. We saw fighting between Kemant fighters and Amhara militias, Amhara forces in 2021 when Tigray forces entered Amhara region. And we know that thousands of Agews, Kemants, they have fled Amhara region. They are in Sudan these days. And last week, Amhara Regional President Yilkal Kifale, while addressing Amhara Regional Parliament, disclosed that Amhara Regional Government was going to talk to Agew Liberation Front to find a peaceful solution to the ongoing conflict in the Amhara region. While talks could start, or talks might have started already, the complaints of Agew people continue. I have received a letter written by Deputy Administrator of Avi zone of the Amhara region. Agews live in Avi zone. Avi zone, Ayo Gogusa Voreda. Deputy Administrator of this Voreda has written a letter to Amhara Regional Government and Amhara Mineral Exploration Bureau. Name of the administrator is Vulali Fentahun. Vulali Fentahun says that Fano fighters are being brought into Ayogugusa Voreda from neighboring Vombarna Voreda, which is part of, I think, West Gajam. Thousands of Fano fighters are being brought and they are being settled on Avi zone land. Around 4,000 hectares of land are being given to Fano fighters, to ethnic Amharas in Avi zone. Deputy Administrator claims. Secondly, mineral exploration licenses are being issued by Mineral Bureau of Amhara region. And these licenses are for Alzib locality. Alzib locality is part of Ayogogusa, but Mineral Bureau of the Amhara region in the license has stated that Alzib is part of Vombarma, which is part of West Gajam zone. Fano fighters are also being brought to Alzib locality reportedly. And local Agew farmers are being displaced reportedly. Deputy Administrator says that a river is natural boundary between Avi zone and West Gajam. But this boundary, this border is not being respected. Agew lands are being annexed. And some say that Vombarna was part of Avi. Years ago, it was annexed by Gajam. I don't know about this claim, but the new claims made by Avi zone administrators are very valid claims. Why is that Fano fighters are being brought to Avi zone, to Ayogugusa Voreda? On the one hand, regional government is talking to Agew Liberation Front fighters. On the other hand, Fano fighters are being sent for settlement on Avi zone lands. Obviously, such measures will not help the start of dialogue between Agew fighters and Amhara regional government. Thank you for watching.